Hi, I'm Bill Sanders, and this is tWatchArtSci, the art and science of watch collection. And today, what I'm going to do is to show how to put on a NATO band, and I'm going to use a Harboring 2 as an example, as one of the examples, because it has a little different way of poking out the spring bars. So without further ado, let's get started. What I'd like to do here is to show you, first of all, some of the tools that I think are necessary and certainly helpful for the whole process of removing your bands and replacing either with a new one, or in this case would be a temporary one. The temporary ones we're using are called NATO bands, and as you can see with this one that I already put on, there's no loop in the end of the band for the spring bars to go through, but rather you put the spring bars like this, and then you work it through here, and then you bring it around here and have your watch set up like this. And this is your typical NATO band, and it's the kind of thing that you want to do in the summertime, and then when you want to change back to your old bars, you just reverse the process. Now, the first thing I think that is extremely important is having a good spring bar removal tool. And probably the one I use, and I found it to be good for several reasons, by a company called Bergeon, Bergeon. You can't, it's written right here, but you can't see it because of because it's black on black. Anyhow, you can find these online at different watchmakers stores. Isinger has one. I think you can find them on Amazon. And I'm sure that Bergeon has its own website and that you can go there. Now, this particular one is a 3153, and the thing that I like about it has the kind of tools that you need on both ends. On this end, here you have a fork, and what you do with the fork is that you basically take the fork to remove the band, and you put either tooth of the fork around the spring bar where it meets with the lug, and then pull it down and then push at the same time, and it'll pop out that way. On the other end, there's a little point, a little needle that is actually at the very tip of it has like a little cup. And the cup, you can put the top of the spring bar and push it. And when you're putting spring bars back in, it's recommended that you push them in with using this top rather than using this. A lot of times people will just do it with their fingers or something flat like this, and then once they get them in the lug, they move them around until they get to the hole. But this is very handy for that. Now, another reason that this is a good toolbar to have is that if we look at this particular watch, this is a Harboring 2 Felix. You can see that trying to put the fork in here or here is going to run into the band. That's a pretty substantial leather band that Harboring has here. So what they have instead, this is what they want you to do, is that you take this and you put a little pressure on the pin, and then you push it down and till you get to the point where, and then it comes right out like that. Actually, I much prefer this method because you're not as likely to tear up the leather on your strap with the fork in, but either way works. Okay, now once you have that, you want to pull the pins out. And this is something that you need to do with some kind of care. You can just hammer against something hard. But what I prefer to do is that I have a pair of plastic tweezers. Now, the plastic tweezers are anti-magnetic, and of course the spring bar, I mean the metal tweezers that you get are also anti-magnetic. You don't want to have anything magnetic on your work area. Okay, and so what you can do with this, rather than pounding a whole lot, you can press it to one end and then take the end of the tweezers and pull out the spring bars. Okay, there's one. You don't want to bend your spring bars or mess them up in any other way. And plastic tweezers are good because they're not as likely to bend the spring bars. Okay, so now you got the spring bars out, and so you want to get these, put these over here. Later on, I'll put a rubber band around them and a little note and to remind me that they belong to the harboring. Sometimes in the summertime, if you have a lot of NATO straps that you're putting on your watches for summer use, it's good to remember which one. Okay, so now I'm taking out this new NATO strap that I got for this guy. And one of the first things that you want to remember is that the buckle always aligns with the 12 o'clock. Okay, so when you have it, like if you look at this one right here, here's the buckle, here's the 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock and buckle always go together. It doesn't matter what kind of bands you have. With a leather band, the non-buckle part goes at 6 o'clock, and then the one with the buckle at the 12 o'clock. Okay. By the way, too, getting an anti-static bench mat work pad is another important thing. You can get these at the same place that you can order your spring bar removal tool. Okay, so I'm going to put these, the way this works is that these go in. You don't take the spring bars and okay, it's inside the lug but not the hole, so very carefully, I can use the forked end for this, you want to move it to where the hole is. Okay, and remember, you want to work it from the back, because if you slip, you're going to, there it is, it's in now. And we'll do the same thing with the other one. Okay, got it in again, and okay, now you have both spring bars in the watch. And one of the other things, let me mention this too before we put the band on. One of the nice things about the 3153 spring bar tool is that it has a little millimeter where you can measure the width of the lugs. This one, these are 20 millimeters. And when you buy a band, you have to specify the number of millimeters. So if you have a tool that does that, that's really helpful. The metal non-magnetic or anti-magnetic tweezers are another good thing to have. You probably don't really need them that much for working with spring bars. Instead, you need something that you can pull the spring bar out with, like these plastic ones. Okay, so now let's see how we go about putting in the band. All right. Well, if we look at this one, what we're going to be doing is that we're going to be taking this and we're going to be putting it underneath here and then slipping that through. Okay, so now let's check here. 12 o'clock's up here, so we know about that. And so we'll just push this through here like this and pull it in some. Okay, and then we'll push the other end here. Okey-doke. And you might have to do a little adjustment with this. Okay. Okay, and then you bring this back around here and you pull this, and then once you get it in, okay, and then you're all set to wear to put the band on. As you can see, you have a double band here between the watch and the outer band, and you have this little inner band. So this I think is meant or designed by design so that when you have that, you can you have sort of an extra layer between the skin and the outer band. So, and then we have the strap here. Now the strap is quite long. It's got a lot of holes, and you can make your own adjustments. This one is a super long one. I would probably prefer not to have it quite that long. But anyway, now my Harboring 2 Felix is all ready for hot summer wear. It's pretty clear that the strap is too long, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to shorten it. I tried different coins. I have a big old bottle of coins that are leftover change from going different places. And so I found a couple pound coins, and they seem to have the right size for this in terms of the curvature. And I'll take some scissors and I'll just cut around here to get the excess off of here, and then cut this. Now the final thing I'm going to do is that I'll take a lighter or a match and then I'll burn off this excess. This is why you want to use metal coins to get the right shape. Okay, here's the strap. Now we got this piece cut off, and now what we want to do is that we want to put the watch back on. Keep in mind that the 12 o'clock has to align with the buckle. So we'll start here, put that in like this, and bring this around here, and then back around here like this. Okay, and try to square it away. All right, there we are with our new length, and now I'll put it on. And let's see if we can get a good how it looks now. We'll put the new shorter buckle under there. Now then, that's a lot better than having this thing stick up like this like it did before. Well, that was it was getting on a strap was a little more involved than I thought anyway. Important point that was made here is get the right tools. There's no substitution for good tools. You get really good watches, get a good tool for it. Okay, listen, I'd like to get some feedback. Any tricks you know or any suggestions you have, go ahead, feel free to subscribe if you like. Just click the old subscribe button. More importantly though, I love to hear from you. leave a comment in the discussion section. And until next time, this is Bill Sanders and Watch Art Sci.